Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into one of the most significant recent developments in the ongoing Russia-Ukraine conflict. Ukraine's strike on a key Russian bridge, an event that many analysts are calling a potential major escalation in the war. In this video, we'll break down what exactly happened, why this bridge was so strategically important, what it means for both sides militarily and politically, and how the international community is responding to this latest turn in the conflict. So make sure to stay tuned till the end because we'll also look at what this could mean for the future of the war and whether this marks a turning point in Ukraine's counteroffensive strategy. The incident reportedly took place in the early hours of the morning when Ukrainian forces launched a precision strike on a vital bridge used by Russia to transport military supplies and reinforcements. According to multiple reports, the bridge was located in a region that connects Russian-controlled territory with key logistical hubs. While details are still emerging, early assessments suggest that the strike involved long-range drones or precision-guided missiles, likely supplied or developed with Western assistance. The explosion caused significant structural damage, temporarily halting movement across the bridge and creating a major disruption to Russian supply routes. For Ukraine, this was not just a tactical win, but also a symbolic one, targeting a piece of infrastructure that had been critical to Russia's operations in occupied areas. To understand why this strike is so important, we need to look at the strategic value of such bridges. In modern warfare, bridges serve as lifelines. They allow the movement of troops, fuel, ammunition, and heavy equipment. By cutting off or destroying key bridges, Ukraine effectively disrupts Russia's ability to resupply frontline units, forcing them to find longer and less efficient routes. This adds logistical strain and weakens Russia's capacity to sustain offensive operations. In previous phases of the war, we've seen Ukraine use similar tactics with remarkable effectiveness, such as during the campaign in the Kherson region when repeated strikes on bridges over the Dnipro River helped isolate Russian forces and ultimately forced them to withdraw. This latest strike seems to follow the same pattern, a strategy focused on precision disruption rather than large-scale direct assaults. Ukraine's leadership has consistently emphasized that their goal is to weaken Russia's war machine from the inside out, targeting its logistics, supply lines, and command centers. Hitting a key bridge fits perfectly into this broader strategy. At the same time, it sends a powerful psychological message that even heavily guarded and fortified Russian infrastructure is not beyond Ukraine's reach. From Russia's perspective, this is a serious blow. Not only does it hinder their operational capabilities, but it also exposes vulnerabilities that the Kremlin has tried to downplay. Russian state media has attempted to minimize the damage, claiming that repair work is already underway and that traffic will resume soon. However, satellite imagery and eyewitness videos circulating online show significant structural damage, suggesting that the bridge could remain out of service for an extended period. The Kremlin's response so far has been to accuse Ukraine of terrorism and threaten retaliatory strikes, which could further escalate tensions in the region. Politically, this incident also comes at a sensitive moment. Russia has been trying to project stability and control despite mounting battlefield losses and growing discontent at home. A successful Ukrainian attack on a high-value target like this undermines that narrative for President Zelensky and the Ukrainian leadership. On the other hand, it serves as a demonstration of capability and resilience, proof to both domestic and international audiences that Ukraine remains on the offensive and can strike deep into Russian-held territory. Western allies have closely monitored the situation. While NATO members have avoided direct involvement in any offensive operations, they have consistently provided Ukraine with intelligence, surveillance data, and advanced weaponry that makes such strikes possible. Analysts suggest that this attack could not have been executed without precise targeting information and high-quality munitions. However, Western leaders are walking a fine line. They support Ukraine's right to defend itself, but are cautious about actions that could provoke Russia into escalating further, possibly even beyond Ukraine's borders. One key question that arises is whether this strike represents a one-time operation or part of a larger campaign. Ukrainian military officials have hinted that this may be just the beginning of a new phase in their counteroffensive. Their focus seems to be shifting from retaking territory inch by inch to systematically dismantling Russia's ability to sustain its occupation. Destroying bridges, depots, and command centers can achieve that goal more efficiently than direct assaults on entrenched positions. Some experts describe this approach as a form of hybrid attrition warfare, targeting the backbone of the enemy's logistics rather than its frontline soldiers. Another important aspect is the timing. This strike came just as winter approaches, a season that traditionally slows down large-scale combat operations due to harsh weather conditions. By damaging key infrastructure now, Ukraine is likely trying to ensure that Russia faces logistical nightmares during the colder months, when repairing bridges and moving heavy equipment becomes even more difficult. This could weaken Russia's ability to launch new offensives in the winter and give Ukraine time to regroup and plan for future operations in spring. The reaction within Russia has been mixed. Pro-war bloggers and military commentators have expressed outrage, questioning how such a high-value target could have been left vulnerable. Some have called for stronger air defense systems and better intelligence coordination. Meanwhile, ordinary Russians are growing increasingly frustrated as the war continues to impact daily life, from economic hardships to the fear of conscription. Events like this attack highlight that despite official propaganda, Russia's war effort is far from invincible. Internationally, this development has reignited discussions about the potential endgame of the conflict. Some observers believe Ukraine's continued success in striking Russian infrastructure could eventually force Moscow to negotiate. Others argue that it may instead harden Russia's resolve, prompting it to retaliate even more aggressively. Either way, the situation remains volatile, and each new attack brings with it the risk of broader escalation. In terms of military implications, the bridge strike is a clear demonstration of how modern warfare has evolved. Drones, precision-guided munitions, and real-time intelligence now allow smaller nations to challenge larger powers in ways that were unthinkable a decade ago. Ukraine's ability to adapt quickly and innovate on the battlefield has been one of the defining characteristics of this conflict. Each successful operation boosts morale among Ukrainian troops and citizens while simultaneously sowing doubt and frustration within Russia's ranks. It's also worth noting that these kinds of high-profile attacks have a major psychological impact. For Ukrainians, it serves as a reminder that their efforts are making a tangible difference. For Russians, it brings the war closer to home, challenging the illusion that it is confined to distant front lines. Such psychological warfare is just as important as physical damage in shaping the course of the conflict. Looking ahead, the key question is what comes next. Will Ukraine continue targeting bridges and infrastructure deeper into Russian-controlled areas? Will Russia respond with large-scale retaliation, perhaps targeting Ukrainian energy systems again as it did last winter? And how will the international community balance its support for Ukraine with the desire to avoid a broader regional war? These are questions that don't yet have clear answers. But one thing is certain: the conflict is entering a new and potentially more dangerous phase. In conclusion, Ukraine's strike on this key Russian bridge is more than just a single attack. It's a statement of intent. It shows that Ukraine remains determined to fight back, disrupt Russia's operations, and reclaim control over its territory. It also highlights the changing nature of warfare, where precision, intelligence, and strategy can outweigh sheer numbers and firepower. The coming weeks will be crucial in determining whether this attack marks a turning point or just another chapter in a long and difficult struggle. That's all for today's deep dive. If you found this analysis useful, don't forget to like the video, share it with others who are following the conflict, and subscribe to the channel for more updates and breakdowns on global events. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.